Give us
Happy
a
to.
few examples in the service industry.
Sure. So one of my clients is a public relations firm, very well established. They've been in business, I think, 8 or 10 years. And one of the problems, especially for women, is that there's a lot of fear underneath pricing. And so we're afraid that people will react badly and we won't know how to handle it. We're afraid we'll get pushback. We're afraid we'll lose clients and we won't get new clients. There's tons of fear underneath all of that. And so my client, who is a PR expert and has this really wonderful firm, and we'll call her Sherry for simplicity. It's not her real name. But so let's say that she has someone come to her, which she did, a gentleman named Joe, and he calls and he found her through LinkedIn and reaches out to her because he's just taken a new position in his company and he's a little bit frantic about getting the public relations plan in place because he's new to this position. And so he wants to get everything done within 30 to 60 days. And he has very specific instructions from his direct supervisor. So he comes to Sherry and explains what's happening, and she can tell he's very anxious. And this is a wonderful project for her and her team. So she continues the conversation. She goes through the whole process. And when she priced it, she brought it to me, and she had priced it at about $40,000. And I'm looking at that thinking, well, let's deconstruct this. He's in a hurry. He has a lot of urgency around what he needs and when he needs it. And he's asking her to do a job that would normally take about 6 months, and he wants her to do it in 2 months. So in my mind, the value just went up. Because if she's someone who can do it in 2 months, that is hugely valuable to him. In addition to that, he has these specific requirements that he needs her to fill. And one of the problems is she's an expert. So now she is having to work within these specific guidelines. And that can cause inefficiencies and problems and how she uses her team. So you can start to see how I think and how I'm viewing this buyer, this potential client. So that's what I share with Sherry and say, here's the situation, here's what he's asking for, and $40,000 doesn't begin to cover the value. So what I initially recommended was that she at least double it. I wanted her to go higher, but she wasn't comfortable to do that. And the work that I do with my clients is to help them get comfortable and to teach them how to talk about and how to answer questions and how to not feel caught off guard. So we went through those exercises. We worked with her. She went up to 75,000 because she couldn't quite get to 80. But interestingly, when she presented the proposal to him, he did not hesitate. And that tells me she left money on the table.
Yes.
So you can start to see the way I'm approaching this, how I view it, and how I teach my clients to approach it differently. So what it did is it built her confidence so that in a future interaction, she knows that this, I don't want to say nonsense, but to some degree it is, and that's what the market will bear. It's nonsense. Every market in every region is different, and no one knows what the market will bear, if there is such a thing, unless you've done very recent, very in-depth market research. And most people haven't. So if you can set aside what the market will bear and that old myth, then it opens up your perspective to be looking at pricing and value very differently.